If you have been following me for a while, you know that I have been showing up for Latina Equal Pay Day since 2019 when I learned about it. And every single year, we're showing up, we're talking about the pay gap. We are constantly teaching our clients to negotiate their salaries as a financial wellness strategy to increase their income. But my favorite part is that I don't just teach them to earn more, I teach them to keep more through investing by leveraging the investment accounts that are available for them to reduce their taxable income in the future. And of course, take advantage of the tax benefits. I have so much to share, and I want to start by saying thank you to all of you that keep asking me about my book launch, a donde voy, what kind of things I'm working on, because I truly, truly appreciate the fact that you care. So today's podcast episode is a little bit of everything. I'm going to start by sharing a book update, also sharing with you where I'm going next because, yes, I am already busy and I love it. And then, lastly, I want to answer a couple of questions that are coming up right now for people with DACA, specifically. Also going live on social media. And the reason is because I want to have essentially content for when this podcast goes live. So here is Oh my gosh, where do I even start? So let's talk about the book update because that one is huge. Okay. So I finally have a pub week, which is publication week for Cash Libre. 10 pillars to help you reclaim your purpose and financial freedom. And originally, I wanted to do it in August, but that didn't work out. And that's because of me. I want to take full responsibility. I didn't realize how long it will take me to actually become familiar with the behind the scenes of editing and changing and things like that. So, my editor, who is an amazing mujer from Puerto Rico, has been amazing and she really helped me shape the final product that you all are going to get. But August was no. So, if you want to write a book and publish a book, give yourself plenty of time, not only because you are going to be working on the edits, the behind the scenes, but also because life happens. When I started writing the book, I had so many life changing events that set me back a little bit, but in a way, I am glad it did because I really wanted to be present with my husband, with my family members that were going through a lot, and also with my nenas who of course, are always keeping me accountable. So, we are going to be publishing Cash Libre 10 pillars to help you reclaim your purpose and financial freedom during Latina Equal Pay. And if you have been following me for a while, you know that I have been showing up for Latina Equal Pay Day since 2019 when I learned about it. And every single year, we're showing up, we're talking about the pay gap. We are constantly teaching our clients to negotiate their salaries as a financial wellness strategy to increase their income. But my favorite part is that I don't just teach them to earn more, I teach them to keep more through investing by leveraging the investment accounts that are available for them to reduce their taxable income in the future. And of course, take advantage of the tax benefits, which is, whether it's growing their money tax free or having triple benefits depending on where they're from or where they are. That sounded funny, where they're from, where they are. So, yeah, so Save Today, Latina Equal Pay Week, we are publishing the book. I have so many fun things coming up for all of us. I have been partnering with some Latina owned coffee shops, women owned coffee shops, and I already have the dates for when I'm going to be going on the book tour. So, again, I just wanted to share that with you because I know you listen to the podcast. I know that you have been patient with me. And yeah, so the next thing that I have is let me tell you something about let me come back to the book actually because so many of you are asking me like is it worth the investment? If you want to publish a book, I will say do it, but do a lot of research. I did a lot of research. I interviewed so many of my colleagues and friends who have launched books before, but I feel that every publishing home is different. So if you want to publish a book, obviously write the book, but also do your homework in terms of what are the things that I need to know in order to bring this project to fruition. Because a lot of times people think that writing a book is going to make you a lot of money, and it's actually not always true. Okay. So when I decided to write the book, I used my business reserves. I also used money from an investment account that I had, and that's also written all throughout the book, by the way, because it's part of the story. But I didn't have as consistent income through private coaching because I was pausing to write the book. So it's always important that you plan ahead for these type of expenses, because you might have the reserves, but then you don't have income coming in. And on that note, a lot of you have been asking me if I am accepting private clients, and the answer is yes. I would love, love, love to take as many private clients as I can between, by the time this podcast is going out in May, maybe June. I was like, wait, what day is it? It is going out in June, because I want to be fully booked for the summer. And in fact, if you are part of my email list, you get special discounts for the program. You also get behind the scenes of the book. And so, yes, please, if you need private financial wellness coaching, please apply, which brings me back to the next point. As a financial coach and strategies, I don't just teach investing and budgeting and paying up debt. I look at the overall picture of your financial health. For example, last week, I had the amazing opportunity to collaborate with a local 4-year university, and they hired me to do one on ones with their young professionals, AKA also students. And I have the privilege of actually walking with them on their financial journey, their career goals, and also create a strategy to build the financial wellness they were seeking. For example, one of the amazing students, aka professionals, who was part of these one-on-ones, she is married, she has like a daughter, she has a husband, the husband has a business, she doesn't work, but she has a side business. And so we look at the overall picture of, let's audit what you have, and then based on that, let's create a plan that you're gonna follow to help you create financial safety. But because she was there at the right time with the right person, she also learned different things that she can make money on the side as she is also a student. So just think about, the investment is not just about the results that you're going to get, because I will give you results. It's also about the proximity. And a lot of us, especially Latinas, are not investing in proximity because there's always the fear of, well, if I invest, like, me va a ver la cara, or is it going to work, right? Our community has now normalized investing in ourselves in a way that feels safe. And so even when clients come to me and say like, "Oh my god, I'm so nervous." I was like, "Yeah, me too. I was nervous when I invested in my first coach." And so when you see investing in your growth not as a si me alcanza, but actually as a necessity, you're going to see the results that you want. And so when I had other students come into the one-on-ones, we also talk about FAFSA. Let me say hello to the people that are here. Hello, hello. And so I have a student who wants to go to med school, and she had so many things to do, but because she was busy, she wasn't doing that. And so on that one-on-one, we started like literally like, hey, let's open your FAFSA. Let's look at what you got. Let me teach you how to read it. Let me teach you how to accept it. What are the next steps for you, right? And so honestly, those were my favorite one-on-ones that I have had in a long time because they were back to back. So the college hired me from 9 a.m. all the way to 4 p.m. And I had an hour and a half break, which I came home to like, okay, I have to prep like my dinner for my family. And then after that, I went back. And so if you are not ready for a 6 months container of coaching, I always say do one off. Like a 60-minute call will take you so far. if you're struggling with, a debt pay strategy, if you like got laid off and you don't know where to start, if you have like money mindset issues, if you're struggle with boundaries, like anything that can help you get ahead, that is what you want to do. Okay. So let's see. Who's here with me? Okay, you guys, I told you I was going live on Instagram as I'm recording the podcast. One of my coaches is here too. Say hello. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to share with you is I will be going to Portland, Oregon for a keynote on June 10th, and I want you to be there. Okay. So on that note, I'm so pumped about going to Portland because I have family members that live there, but also many of you know that I grew up in Oregon. I did not grow up in Portland, Oregon, but I grew up in rural Oregon, but Portland was like the Seattle of Oregon State. So if you are a small business owner, a career professional, I want you to join us. So let me give you the name of the event because it's super, super, super amazing. So let me pause right here. Okay, so the event is in collaboration, or the person that hired me is the Portland Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce. And so I will be doing a keynote on all things revenue and wealth and why small businesses need to really prioritize creating generational wealth, because a lot of times people think, well, my business is my generational wealth, but a business is just an asset. So the event runs again on June 10th, which is a Wednesday, from 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and it's going to be at the Eco Trust building. I'm so excited. I already said this, but let me tell you why I'm so excited, because I have been working on this opportunity for literally almost a year. And a lot of you are seeing, right? Like you see the highlights, like, oh my gosh, she was in the other side of Oregon. Treasure Valley Community College also hired me for a keynote. And then you guys are like, oh my gosh, she's a keynote there. Now she's a keynote here. But a lot of those opportunities are coming to me because I am really prioritizing connecting with people intentionally. Like for me, I want to build relationships when people say, I want to bring this person to speak every single year, right? Which for a lot of speakers, in case you didn't know, that doesn't happen very often. But a good example with Treasure Valley College, they have hired me 3 times. And every time they're like, yeah, let me open the wallet for you because every time you come, you bring a new perspective and we want to keep bringing you, right? Now, I actually offer, hey, I have a list of like amazing friends and speakers that will be a good fit for the next year, right? Because I also want to open doors for other people. And so the opportunity in Portland came about me inquiring about financial literacy month, and that didn't work out for them and for me, and that's okay. Sometimes you're going to have opportunities that don't line up exactly how you want, but then if you keep like pursuing the collaboration, the meaningful relationships, things will come. So when I got invited as a keynote, I was like, oh my God, I applied to be a workshop presenter last year, but this year they want me to be the keynote. And of course, with that comes, the opportunity to negotiate the fees. I'm really excited because they were able to really like take care of me, not just in the let's pay you to be here, but I also requested additional things and they say yes. So I was like, yeah, okay, this feels now like it's happening. And so again, if you are available June 10th, I am going to be linking the link for the event in the show notes. So I hope to see you there. And then let me see what I have here. So the last thing I want to talk about is a question that came to me regarding how to navigate financial uncertainty right now, especially as a DACA. There is so much uncertainty that I don't even want to use the word uncertainty anymore, because you are seeing it every single time you go on Instagram, Facebook, like it's literally everywhere. How I'm helping my clients, and this is full transparency on the things that I do. So for my clients that have DACA, one of the things that I'm teaching them is don't just wait for things to happen to you, okay? And I know this can be probably the type of advice that you're like, no, I don't want that. But if you have DACA or anything that makes you feel uncertain, not just with your future, but also and specifically with your finances, what I'm teaching my clients is, do you have a backup plan that is going to help you feel safe? And that backup plan doesn't just look like having savings or money in case you need it. It actually means having access to another financial institution, to another financial system. And so, one of the things that I'm doing for my clients is I am teaching them how to invest internationally, but not just invest, actually have the documents and the things they need to legally participate in the financial system elsewhere. And so if you have DACA, I'm not a lawyer. I always like to say that, like, I'm not a lawyer, but I will talk to you about how I'm helping my clients navigate these. And yes, having access to a legal institution, a Latina lawyer, for example, is going to help you so much. I was doing a lot of case studies for the book when I was writing the book, and I ended up doing so much research. And one of the things that I see often is that we're always resharing information that is fake or that is false. And so you want to have access to the right legal advice. And on the podcast, we have interviewed multiple lawyers because we want to provide access to those people. We have not worked with them, as client. There's no client relationship, but we bring them to the podcast because we do believe these amazing mujeres have a lot to share. And so I want you to know that yes, I am helping my clients navigate with, the uncertainty of DACA, the uncertainty of, their parents already being gone, the uncertainty of like how are they going to take care of like the financial responsibilities that parents left. And so if you don't see me talking about that as much is because I feel that I don't need to make more noise. What I need to do is to take action. And another thing that I will share on today's episode before I let you go is that I was already planning on things being a little bit messy this year. And so one of the things that I decided to do was to become certified to learn more about the international financial system and specifically how are things run in Mexico. So some of you noticed that I started to bring people from Mexico to teach us, how to buy a property there. I have so many podcast episodes coming out with financial institutions also from Mexico because I want us to just embody this idea that we need geographical freedom, whether it is, you are a US citizen, you are a permanent resident, you have DACA, whatever it is that you have. My goal with the podcast is to bring conversations that are going to help you think different, right? You will notice that I rarely talk about budgeting anymore because I am so tired of this belief that budgeting better is going to help us become successful. A budget is just a tool. And so, for those of you that have been checking on me, se los agradezco muchísimo. And I do have a big favor to ask, okay? I always ask for something, and some of you are like, yes, I'm gonna help this girl. One of the big, big, big asks that I have right now is we want to connect with Latinas, Latina bookstore, Latina coffee shops all over the US, okay? I have already my schedule for September, October, and November. I'm looking at it right now, but we are going to be making this book launch event super fun because it is really about you. It is about your relationship with money, and the book is going to help you just see things different. And October 6th is the official book launch of Cash Libre. Join the waitlist, leave a podcast review, screenshot this podcast episode, like let people know because the more the better. Honestly, for me, I fell in love with writing the book. The production of the book has been a little bit stressful because there's so many moving pieces. It's not like a straight line. But I have to remind myself that I have to trust the process and that I also have to trust my publishing home, which they have been amazing. Like, if anything, I feel like I have been asking them more questions than anybody else, and they have come through with the answers, with the explanations every single time. So I'm really glad that I invested in them. And so thank you again for coming to this show. And don't forget to save the day for October 6th. Latina Equal Pay Day is when we're doing the book launch for Cash Libre. Les quiero un chingo y les mando un abrazo. Bye. On the Say Hola Wealth podcast and its associated entities, all content provided is for general informational purposes only. This information is not intended as legal, accounting, tax, or other professional advice. Listeners are encouraged to seek guidance from qualified professionals such as accountants, financial planners, or attorneys before making decisions based on the content shared. We assume no responsibility for errors, omissions, or misinterpretation in the podcast of its associated materials. Additionally, we disclaim all liabilities from any defamatory, offensive, or inappropriate content shared by guests or contributors. By accessing this podcast and its related content, you acknowledge the terms of this disclaimer.